Ah, well that isn't ideal, is it? Oh no! Bushes. Oni-chan. I accidentally spent on instead of $1 million. Whatever shall we do? The world's going to find out about us and our deep, intense love. Whatever shall we do? Cool. While my good platonic friend, George W. Bush, sorts out this conundrum I've got myself in, I have ample time to talk about the top 5 games of 2025, or the games of the year 2025, whatever. Do you know what time the bank closes today? I've gotta go.
The whole club was looking at her.
Okay, so, I quite like the Souls games. Unique opinion, I know. And Armored Core 6 deserved Game of the Year 2023. The game was robbed. I stand by that. I am coping. So when someone described this game to me as Armored Core Dark Souls, I, as a reasonable man, said to him, if you're calling it Armored Core Dark Souls because it's hard, I'm going to stab you. Or if you're calling it Armored Core Dark Souls because you have less stamina bar, or because you lead dodge, I'm going to stab you. Then the occasion came around where I played it. Doll's Nest is indeed Armored Core Dark Souls. I still stabbed him. It's a whole other thing. I'm not getting into it. The world is grand, glorious, vast, and broken. Shattered kingdoms and broken machinery. You hear of queens and republics and churches, but what you see are flooded, abandoned remnants. The NPCs you meet are weird, cryptic, scattered little creatures, with questlines you could only hope to complete by following a guide. I feel like it does a really good job at capturing the general vibe of a Souls game. I like the cut of its jib. In character and build creation, the game is much more like Armored Core. Most of your stats and abilities come from the metal strapped to your magic robo-skirt. Equipment has varying weight. You might need to mix and match to fit different scenarios. While you can increase your base stats, this requires eating that Fang sexual style, not robot souls, and the most you can get is a slight boost. Movement and combat also work more like Armored Core. There's a degree of verticality, it's much faster. Strafing is a large part of combat. The dodge is a boost, keeping momentum, and there's the addition of heavy shoulder weapons. But the feel of combat is more like the Souls games. Lock on and respond to the enemy's attacks. The general speed is faster because of guns and jet boosters, but the pace is decided by how you want to play. Faster and aggressive if you want a bitch, or slower and defensively with the addition of range. Exploration follows suit. A central hub area branching out into largely self-contained zones, filled with items and enemies, with a boss at the end, either linking to other zones, or a dead end with a plot-important item. You'll also find a staple of every Souls game. Fucking annoying bullshit zone. But Doll's Nest puts a fun spin on this. While in the Souls games, fucking annoying bullshit zone is poison, or confusing, and annoying. In Doll's Nest, it's dark, and you can't see anything, and you need to throw lamps at the wall. There's also a poison zone. I was lying. In my opinion, the shoulder weapons are basically useless. They're too heavy, too slow, use up too much ammo, and do too little damage when compared to normal weapons to be useful. It is both my eternal desire and genuine advice to drop my backpack in a public location and subsist solely on kitchen appliances and small arms fire. But swords need a bit of getting used to. They're more than a little janky, and the range and hitbox of melee weapons isn't exactly clear. And the game generally assumes you're using guns. Unlike Armored Core, where locking is manual, guns will automatically lock and track after a set time, but swords won't. But they're well worth the effort. Swords do a lot of damage. Jousting some of the later bosses is very fun and cool. I like it. Gold star. The boss fights themselves are mostly, unfortunately, mid as fuck. There are two bosses I like, that I feel are properly challenging and rewarding to fight. They're both in the mid to late game. The final boss is pretty easy. You can avoid most attacks by going right. Too many bosses are boring damage sponges or mildly annoying gimmicks, so it loses points there. But the moment-to-moment gameplay is cool enough. 7 out of 10. Fuck you. The anime girl aesthetic isn't for everyone, and that's fine. Great, even. Some people have a good relationship with their parents, and that's great. I'm so happy for you. Bigot. The game's optimized like shit, could be my PC, but I can run Hatsune Miku, Project Diva, Megamix Plus, smoother than butter, so I don't think so, Buster.
They call me Mr. Plenty, because I got plenty to go around.
Didn't come out in 2025. I played it in 2025. Fuck you. I make the rules up as I go. You don't own me. You don't own me. John owns me. He knows what I did last April, and he won't stop me next time. Atlas is a furry inflation simulator, released into early access on the 22nd November 2024. It just so happens to have a pretty solid dungeon crawler as bonus content. Atlas kinda scratches an itch for me, not because I'm a furry, I'm a scaly. Rawr. And not because of the Guna bait. When I want to get hot and heavy, I play Dark Souls 3. I want him. For a long time, I've been looking for a game with 4 features: character creation, little to no story, a nice gameplay loop, and funny loot. A game I can play after a long, hard day of missing my beautiful childhood and eating yummy paper while my boss isn't looking. Where I can just make a funny little fellow, murder a small town's worth of unfortunate bystanders, find a funny hat, and go to bed. For a while, MMOs scratch that itch. They've got everything I'm looking for. But there are cutscenes about a story I just don't care about. And I have to deal with people. I don't like people. And they're all online. And I live in the fields. Bad Wi-Fi out here. Roguelikes are neat, but there's no titty slider in Risk of Rain. Kenchi's cool, but I have to use my think thing too much. And the Borderlands games aren't fun. They've got the loot, kinda. I can't feel pretty, but finding new things satisfies my lizard brain. And I understand the gameplay loop, I guess, but I just don't like them. Smelly. But Atlas, it's got it all. 5 races, belly slider, a 2-second cutscene, and women. I don't understand, because I can't read. 3 classes, a melee, a ranged, and a mix, that all feel good to play. You're limited to 6 active skills, so you have to put the slightest thought into what skills you pick, but they're generally pretty good, and you can reset them for cheap. And the loot. Oh, the loot. I feel like the prettiest princess. I know you can have 12 active skills across 2 skill bars, but in the heat of the moment, I'm not actively switching between skill bars unless I'm setting up for big damage. Stop fucking typing. Granted, it's currently deep as a puddle and wide as a surprisingly large puddle compared to the depth. The bandit class doesn't have any subclasses. The warrior class only has 1. You advance into a subclass by buying a book from a statue. There are only 2 dungeons. They both have multiple difficulties, but not much changes, other than a boss recolor and harder enemies. The open world is fine, I guess. But it's a very nice puddle, with a massive tip. The kind of puddle you can have a lovely slurp out of, and only get 1 intestinal parasite. The kind of puddle you can come back to time and time again, and always come out with that refreshing taste, and the delightful squirm of bugs in your teeth. I have high hopes for the future. If you're the kind of psychopath who enjoys running the same dungeon dozens of times, to get 1 specific drop, or you're looking for a game where you can play for a quick session then fuck off and do something else, or you're looking for a simple yet addicting combat system, or if you like character creation, or you're a fucking furry, then I could not recommend Atlas more. But if you're after a game with top of the line graphics, a deep, introspective story that really makes you think about, like, society, man. Then look somewhere else. And I don't like the mining. I'm not sure why it's in the game. It's just meaningless busy work. You click on rocks, you get ore. You give the ore to a bloke, the bloke gives you ingots. You give the bloke ingots, the bloke gives you gear. The gear's not very good, or at least compared to the gear that you get by running dungeons, a much more interactive task. And you don't get XP for it. You get mining XP, so you can mine more rocks. Puddles, I guess.
So baby, put your toaster in a bathtub full of yogurt.
So I'm not really a boomer shooter guy. Nothing against them, despite what those bitches at Sleepy Oaks may testify. They're just not really my cup of tea. I played Doom Eternal a while back and just didn't really get into it. Maybe because I was playing on this plastic box instead of God's chosen machine. So when I picked up Beyond Citadel, I didn't really have high expectations. I'm bored, I'm bad with money. This might just kill a few hours. But I found myself pleasantly surprised. The gunplay is snappy and fast and satisfying, the movement is responsive and quick, and it makes me want to scream from the rooftops. Yes, alright. I wasn't a fan of the reloading mechanics at first. You can't just press R and reload. Well, you can, but then you lose your magazine. And you've got to pick it up. All embarrassed, your cheeks flushed red as Senpai watches. You've got to press X to remove the magazine, R to insert a new one, and if there's no bullet in the chamber, right click to cock it. Or whatever the word is. I don't know guns, I live in England. And if it's not a magazine-fed gun, press R to load every individual bullet. And that sounds mildly annoying. And for the first few hours, I also thought it was mildly annoying, just useless death that doesn't fit a fast-paced shooter. But then, around the 2 to 4 hour mark, you get into a rhythm, and that mildly annoying feature suddenly becomes incredibly satisfying. I like it. It's neat. However, the weapon durability is just useless death. So when you use a weapon, their durability goes down. The lower it goes, the more likely it is to jam. And if you lose all the durability, the weapon breaks. It isn't hard to repair them, it only takes a couple seconds at a workbench. We'll need a special resource, commonly dropped by robot enemies and some chests, and as long as you keep your guns generally above 60%, and put a few levels in the stat that decreases weapon jam chance, jamming's pretty rare. So why is it in the game? It's not annoying enough to change how I play the game around it. It's just annoying enough that every half an hour I go, fuck's sake, I've got to fix my gun again, and spend an extra 5 seconds at a workbench. There were a couple times I had to use weapons that I wouldn't normally use, because my main guns had no durability left, and I forgot to fix them, but it was literally a couple. It happened, like, twice. Like, I understand that it's for realism or whatever, in a game where I'm a magic future cyborg angel girl, killing mind-controlled robot demon angels in post-Rapture America. The story's fine for what it is. It's not exactly high art, but it's interesting enough. Incestering enough, you might say. The apocalypse happened a while back. Everyone's dead. You're a cyborg angel girl who got brainwashed by the Holy Space CIA with a dead little brother. Go put him back together. The dev clearly enjoys anime women, and the gore of anime women. So there's probably some psychological issue going on here. Yeah, that's right. I did A-level psychology, so I'm basically an expert. Just come to my office next Thursday, I'll measure your skull. Don't start taking your meds. Keep up the good work, love.
P stands for penis. Q is the next letter.
Okay, I know how this list looks so far, but I swear I play games that aren't anime shit. Which is why number 2 is Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN. I'm joking. I have not played Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. So I quite liked Elden Ring. 100%ed it because I'm just such a fucking gamer. But streamlining the gameplay, taking out the character and build customization, and strapping it into a roguelike with the Fortnite Storm doesn't sound like my cup of tea. And if I'd heard anything about it, like anything, I might think to give it a chance. but I've heard nothing about it. I think I saw a NIGHTREIGN BIRDBRAIN Minecraft parody, but I also might have just hallucinated that. So I don't know if that speaks more to the quality of NIGHTREIGN or my mental health. I don't know. I could have just been living under a rock this year and a half. Number 2 is Uma Musume Pretty Derby. So this isn't the sort of game I would ever expect to put on a top 5 list, or a game of the year list, or whatever I happen to call this video. But looking at the sheer playtime, and the sheer entertainment that I've got out of anime horsewomen racing, it's truly incomparable. What is skill-based gameplay when the horsewomen go fast? I can finally, truly, empathise with my father, betting the house on Balthazar King. We'll win it back, he said. We'll see them again, he said. Joy and hope in his eyes. But we never did. And finally, the game of the year for 2025 is World Neverland, Daily Life in the Elnea Kingdom, Another Life Adventure. I'm joking. I was lying about this being a top 5. It's a top 4. You don't own me. I'm making this up as I go. Fuck you.
Hey! Someone!
Holy shit, they hit the 3rd tower. That's right, there were 3. The government lies, trust nothing, leave your life savings in a cardboard box. Yeah, there weren't really any games that came out this year, last year, that really grabbed me, you know? Like a game that grabbed me by the shoulders, shook me like my dad did to me as a baby, and showed me this is what a game can be, mid-year. And that isn't me saying that any of these games are bad. I've put a few dozen hours into all of them. They just didn't change my worldview or like really wow me, you know? I like all of them, but I don't love any of them. Yeah, so I wrote most of this script before the Game Awards. I'm very lazy, and I work full-time. Yeah, that's right, Princess. I'm better than you. And I don't watch the Game Awards. If I cared what millennials thought about video games, I'd stop throwing bread at them. I haven't played Expedition 33. I tried, but I saw the Eiffel Tower in the trailer and...